mine should have a negative in front or it's concave up, which makes absolutely no sense. Join us. Oh, that's a really large negative sign. Nonetheless, everyone's typing it into their calculators. Let's go. Calculator typing. We are doing it. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. When you type it in, you cannot see the maximum if you're on a standard window. We agree? Yes. So you have to go to your window and make your X or your Y max bigger. I made mine be 30, and then I could see it. Miraculous bears. Okay? Now, the first one says, how high is the rocket after 5 seconds? Now, if we look, it says h is height in meters, t is time in seconds. H is in what variable spot?
Y.
And t is in what variable spot?
X.
X. Oh my Lanta. All right. The brain power is rubbing off right now. That's where we're at. So, did they give me t or did they give me h? It's in seconds. Did they give me t or did they give me h? T. They gave me t is 5. Now, I told you that whenever they give you t, you can just plug it in, right? We're going to show 2 ways. So we could go h equals negative 1/2 5 squared plus 2 times 5 plus 21. Everyone's typing that into their main screen. Not the h part, just the extra. The stuff on the right-hand side. So when you know what x is, you can just type it in. I got 18.5. Did you get 18.5? Now, it's a unit. It's h equals 18.5. 18.5 what?
Meters.
Meters. Now, we can use our calculator as well. So if I say algebraically determine this, you have to do it this way. This is algebra, right? But we can check it with our calculator. Where can we input x values? Does anyone remember? You can go second, trace. Caleb, I'm not doing this for myself. It's for you. Second,
I got the answer.
trace, value.
I did this.
Normally you should be pressing buttons. Second, trace, number 1, and what pops up? X equals holy smoker doodles Batman, and what can we put in for that? 5. It's miraculous. 18.5. Shocking. We're freaking geniuses. Got it right. Boom. Okay, good. Good talk. 18.5, h equals 18.5 meters. Now, the next one says, what is the maximum height? Is it asking me for y or x? Height. Y. And when it says maximum, we need to find the maximum. I know it's crazy. So it didn't make any sense, and only 2 people called me over when it was concave up. So, we need to find the maximum height. So we need to find the y of the maximum. How do we find the maximum with our calculators? Second, trace, maximum. Number 4, left bound, enter. Right bound, enter, enter. And we should have gotten what? H equals what? 12? 14? 23. You'll only answer if I give you wrong answers, is what I found. So I just am going to shout out random things. 17.92. 23. Oh, okay. There it is. Now, how long does it take for the rocket to reach the maximum height? So what's it asking for now? The time. The time at the maximum. The time is which variable? X, and a t in this case. So it's what? What is the x of the maximum? 75, negative 4. Make that make sense this time, yeah. 2 what? The next one says, when does the rocket have a height of 21? I need to type this in because I'm a friggin' genius like you. You don't have to either, yeah. Yep. So, yep. 21.
Oh, sorry, I meant 0.
0, because look at the equation. I should be Vanna. If Vanna ever quits, I'm taking over. Vanna is off Wheel of Fortune. You young people probably don't even know.
Yeah.
All right. When this is standard form, what's the y-intercept? The back number is a constant, which is 21. So if it's the y-intercept, y is 21, x is 0, right? Because it's y. So at 0 seconds. Now what I want you to do, it's not on here, but I want you to do, is I want you to find out the time it takes to reach the ground. Let's go. Time it takes to reach the ground. Time it takes to reach the ground. What am I asking you to find when I say reach the ground? Remember, it looks something like this. What is this? This is reaching the ground. What is this? X-intercept. How do I find the x-intercept with my calculator? Second, trace zeros, which is actually number 2. Now I need to be on the left side of it. Do I care about the negative x-intercept? No, that's negative time. It makes no sense. Enter. What's my x-intercept at for the nearest tenth? 17.4. Negative 1 million. I'm still in
Sounds all right.
Let me solve. It needs to be positive. When does it happen? 8 decimal 8. I think that's an S. So at 8.8 seconds, it reaches 0 meters. It's an x-intercept, correct? So that's how long it takes. That is the extra piece to this quadratic equations. So quadratic functions, all the rest of that was in quadratic functions. You had to tell me the vertex. So you had to give me when it hit at 5 seconds, what time was it? Or at what height was it? The maximum height, how long it took to reach the maximum height. When is your y-intercept? But then this unit is all about x-intercepts, correct? So if I give you a word problem like this on the test, it would be one where I give you one like this and I ask you how long it takes to hit the ground, because I'm literally asking for the x-intercept. Or if it's someone diving, how long till they hit the water? If it's a golf ball, how long till it hits the ground? If it's a frog, how long till it hits the surface of the water? It's always something going like this. Yeah. Yeah. You got it. Okay. Number 2, is this from quadratic equations? Yeah. You're going to go when this is happening?
Hey, I got this one right.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
No, okay. Okay. This one is not from quadratic equations. It's from my grill.
Thanks for that.
Well, you didn't give me notice. I didn't even see it coming. I was just been weird. Okay. Something. Okay. So. Well, really, that wasn't on me. I couldn't get a mask on that fast. I didn't. Why did he come this way? I don't even know. All right. Flustered. All right. Is this from quadratic equations?
No.
This is from quadratic functions. It's on the last test, correct? But it can be on the midterm. It can be on the final. It can happen numerous times. It's never leaving us. So enjoy the farmer questions. So ready? This one says, a rectangular field is to be fenced using 600 meters of fencing. So what's that?
Perimeter.
The perimeter equals 600 meters. Perfect. We have one thing. And also divided into 4 sections using 3 extra fences running parallel to the width of blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Okay. It is broken into 4 sections. Does that look like 4 sections? Yeah. It's either going to be a plain old rectangle missing a side, or a whole rectangle, or it's going to be something with pens. That's all I've ever given you. It's not, yeah, there you go. Okay. So we need to come up with a perimeter equation. Now remember, these are what? Length. And what are these bad boys? Width. So what's my equation? P equals 5 what? Yeah, plus 2 L's. And my P is what? What? Come on, Lepp. Read the whole question. Grab a mitt. It's still flustered from the mask. Okay. An existing fence is used at one line. Oh, we don't need you. Just one. Well, you know, I didn't read it properly the first time. That's so much easier. We won't get fractions. All right. Let's read the whole thing. An existing fence is used as one of the lengths of the rectangle. What is the maximum area? What dimensions would give it? That's really well worded. Okay, so P is 600. Boom shakalaka. Then I'm going to isolate L. If it was 2L, I'd get 5 over 2W, which makes it substantially harder, right? Look how nice I am. Didn't even realize it was that nice. So we're going to subtract 5W. And we're going to get L equals negative 5W plus 600. That is 1 mark out of 3. Boom, I got 1 mark. Look at me. I wouldn't have because I had 2 L's. But you all got 1 mark. Good job on you for reading. Now, that's 1 mark. We agree? Yay. Then we have to go to maximum area. Max area equals length times width. And then your length is negative 5W plus 600 times W. And then I have to distribute. So I get negative 5W squared plus 600W. 2 marks. Aren't we rocking it? We're at 2 out of 3 marks. Yeah. All right. Then what do we have to do always after this step? Complete the square. Yes. So we're going to get equals negative 5 bracket W squared minus 600 divided by 5. 30 W plus something. How do I get the something? I go negative 30 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 15 squared, which is, ooh, that is an excessive amount of 2s. 225. What? No, I'm not. I won't.
It's not 30, it's...
Who lied to me?
That was me just going for it.
I wouldn't waste my remote.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just kidding. He's aggressive. Okay, what's 600 about? Of course it's not. 300. What is it?
That wasn't even close. I did divide by 2 and then was like, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, because 12 times 5 is 60, you need another 0. Of course it's 120.
Yeah.
Oh, Anna. I mean Shanna. You don't want to say your real name. Okay, so we have negative 120 divided by 2 squared, which is negative 60 squared, which is 3,600. Substantially different than what before. Okay, then we take the 3,600. If we added 3,600, we're going to have to subtract 3,600, but we have to times it by
Negative
5. Negative 5, and we get what? Positive what, McKenna? I'm not pressing the other one anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
18.
What?
18,000? Yeah. I'm like, that, it's getting smaller? Some things I'm like, I don't trust anything now. I think you guys are playing with my emotions. And then we have plus nothing. I'm not going to write it. Okay. Then we're going to go negative 5. W minus 60 squared plus 18,000. What is this 18,000? That's your max area. So it's 18,000. Thank you. Meters squared. What's my dimensions? My width is 60 meters because when it comes up, it becomes positive. How do I get my length? We go max area, which is 18,000 meters squared divided by 60 meters. And we get 300? Yes? Okay. You're making me question myself. It should be 300 because these will cancel, and then this is going to be 18 divided by 6, which is 3, and then 2 zeros. Okay. So the dimensions are 30 meters by, that's a lie, 60. Totally looks like a 60. 30 meters. Okay? Sure. You're going to be lost on the next one. You want to stay for it? You're an adult. I'll let you pick. Okay.
I'll stay.
The next one is a harder completing the square question. But it follows the same rules as every other completed the square question. You see a fraction and stop. That is not what should happen. You should see a fraction and be like, I can do this. Let me show you. That's what your response should be. Not like, oh, I'm just going to wait and see what she does. That is not the response we want. We want, I got this. I'm going to do it correctly. Okay? So, we have y equals negative 3x squared minus 2x plus 8. Take the negative 3 out. I get negative 3 square bracket x squared. What's negative 2 divided by negative 3? 2 over 3. Plus, we got to figure this out. And then we got a minus something. And then we got a 8. Okay, let's figure out something. So we're going to go b. Yeah, it's still 2 divided by 3, and I still believe you can do it. I believe in you. So we go 2 divided by 3. That's b. Divided by 2, and then I square it. What's 2 over 3 divided by 2? It's 1/3. 0.7. It would be the same as going 2/3 divided by 2 over 1, which is 2/3, times a half, which is 2 over 6, which is 1/3, as your calculator would tell you. So we get 1/3 squared, which is 1 over 9. I haven't done anything crazy. I'm literally just following the same steps. And you have a calculator that's very expensive that will help you if you're stuck. So we're going to go 1/9. And then I have to minus 1/9. But the 1/9 has to be multiplied by the negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 1/9 is, we're doing negative 3 times negative 1/9 is positive 1/3. It's what I should tell you, right? So we get plus 1/3 plus 8. So we're going to get y equals negative 3. And then people are like, I don't know what to put there. You can always look one back, right? So I told you. 1 back is 1/3, so it's going to be x plus 1/3 squared. And then what's 1/3 plus 8? 25 over 3. Should be 24 over 3. So it should be 25 over 3. What's your vertex? Opposite of this, negative 1/3, same as that, 25 over 3. It's really pretty. What's my range? This graph is concave, down. So my range is going to be y such that y is less than or equal to, what's my highest y? 25 over 3 because this is the max y yard. If you're someone who's going to attempt 30-1, you have to be able to do this. If you can't do this, 30-1 is going to be ugly. This is like a scale of like normal. Just so you know. Because every year it gets harder. And it's quite a jump. We go from 8 units to 11 in 30-1. In 30-1, you complete almost a unit a week. And you have to be able to deal with fractions. So you can't look at this and be overwhelmed. You have to look at this and be like, I can do it. And I know actually there's a lot of you in here that can do this, that just quit before trying it. Yeah.
Are we allowed to use our calculators for calculating?
Yeah, your calculators are never taken away.
No. Like for a question like this, are we not allowed to graph? Are we not allowed to use our calculator?
No, because that would make it be in a written response and ask you to do it algebraically like I did here. So if you just got the...
Are we allowed to use our calculators for like fractions?
Yes, just not like...
Three times like 2 over 3 here.
Yeah. You're just not allowed to just find the maximum. Yeah. So you can use it to help with math. Yep. Okay, this one here, I have to always move it. When it says solve, I always have to get it equal to 0. So I go 2x squared plus 7x plus 1 equals 0. And then I always check for factoring. Can I multiply to give me 2 and add to give me 7? Nothing in the world. So I immediately say quadratic formula. A equals 2, B equals 7, C equals 1, X equals negative B, so negative 7, plus or minus 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 1, all over 2 times 2. X equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root. Now this is going to be 49 minus 8. When I type it in, it's going to get me 41. 41 is a prime number. You should throw like a party. You can't reduce that. Done. Even if this was negative 8 over 4, could I reduce it? If it was negative 8 over 4? No, it's always a 3 for 1 special. There's a 1 in front of here. It has to come out of all 3 or it can't come out at all. So even if this was an 8, we're done. Because it says exact values. Can you give me decimals? No, that would actually make you lose marks. Exact values means not decimals. This one here, I'm going to subtract the 7x and subtract the 6. So I get 3x squared minus 7x minus 6 equals 0. Now I say what times what equals negative 18. What plus what equals negative 7. What do you use? Negative 9 and positive 2. If you know anyone in grade 10, really sell home how important factoring is. We've used it a lot. And reducing radicals. We've used that a lot. So, we're going to use it a lot in the next unit because the next unit is radicals. So we're going to replace this. We have to decomp. So we're going to go 3x squared minus 9x plus 2x minus 6 equals 0. Group. We take a 3x out. We're left with x minus 3. Take a plus 2. We're left with x minus 3. Then you get x minus 3 as one of your factors and 3x plus 2. If you still can't factor, there's a day where you're going to have to admit it. I feel like today's the day, or tomorrow at lunch or something, if you need to admit it. And if you're someone who's rewriting and you were here already last week, make sure you show up tomorrow and Thursday at lunch. Whoa.
Apologies.
I don't know anyone who goes, apologies, but I'm using that from now on. That is great. I like that. Okay, x minus 3 equals 0. That's the best way to respond to that. I like it. Okay, add 3. Your binder is falling apart like twice today, just this class.
It's a great day.
X equals 3. And then subtract 2. 3x equals negative 2. Divide by 3. X equals negative 2/3. If I ask you to solve, that's it. You give me x equals those two things and you're done. If I ask you for x-intercepts, you have to do one more step. So if I actually ask you for the x-intercepts, you'd have to put in a coordinate. 3, 0, and 2/3 and 0. The last question, some people went crazy. Did all 3. Complained at me. We're like, you maybe do all 3. No, I didn't. You didn't read it. Okay. So, we're going to make sure we read. Unlike I did for the word problem that was above. We're going to make sure we read. So it says, given the equation 3x squared minus 2x plus k, determine the value of k if there are 2 real and distinct roots. So this is the donut question. 2 real and distinct roots. The moment I see that, I know that the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, has to be what? Greater than 0. What's underneath the square root symbol has to be greater than 0. We're all jealous of him right now? Everyone's giving him looks like, oh, I want to leave now too. Okay, now, I don't know what she just... A equals 3, B equals -2, C equals K. So I'm going to get -2 squared minus 4 times 3 times K is greater than 0. -2 squared is 4, for those of you who write -2 because you don't put in brackets and trust the calculator over your brain. -2 squared is -2 times -2, right? Which we know is a positive 4. Then minus 12K is greater than 0. Then we're going to subtract 4. -12K is greater than -4. And when I divide by a negative and I have an inequality, I swear to goodness you've learned this, but you were all like blank slates. When we divide by a negative, what happens to our inequality sign?
Flips.
It flips. I'm blaming the pandemic.
Please.
K is less than 4/12, which can reduce to K is less than 1/3. So you can take a 4 out of each. It's only when you divide by a negative. You divide by a positive, inequality sign stays the same. You multiply by a negative, inequality sign stays the same. You add, subtract, doesn't matter. The only time it flips is if you divide by a negative. Yeah? Yeah, sure. Okay. Can you flip to your notes? The notes I just gave you.
I like it.
Okay, on the notes I gave you, so right now, on the notes I gave you, if you look at the warm-up, number 1, I want you to do number 1.
Oh, no. Oh, doing things?
Yes. You're doing the warm-up.